All right, get ready because we're about to take a deep dive into Automation Partners AI and specifically their Black Friday deal.
Oh yeah, this one's been generating some buzz.
It definitely caught my eye too. I got a ton of info from you about this website, details, social media posts. You even sent over notes from like a CRM demo.
Sounds like you did your homework.
I'm definitely intrigued like everyone else, but gotta admit, I am a little overwhelmed by it all, just the sheer volume of stuff.
That's totally understandable. There's a lot to sift through.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what we do here, right?
Yeah.
We help you cut through all that noise and figure out, is this platform the real deal or are they just hyping things up?
Exactly. And you know what? The first thing that really jumped out at me was this big claim about saving you money.
Ah, yes, the big promise.
They actually say you could replace over $7,000 worth of software
Yeah.
with their platform for just $250 a month during this Black Friday deal. I mean, is that even possible?
It's definitely a bold claim. I mean, those numbers grab your attention, right? But before you go jumping in head first, I think it's important to really zoom in and see what's included. And do those features actually measure up to the individual tools they're saying they're replacing?
Right. So they have this chart on their site comparing their platform to some big names. We all know HubSpot, ClickFunnels. They even mentioned Shopify. It's like they're trying to be the one-stop shop for everything. Could this really replace all those separate tools?
Well, it's worth looking into, especially since you've been thinking about streamlining your tech stack anyway.
Mm.
And you mentioned you've been using ClickFunnels for a while now. So just from what you've seen so far, how do the features compare, at least on paper?
Well, ClickFunnels has been great for building out those sales funnels, and it seems like Automation Partners AI, they have a similar drag and drop builder, which is good news for someone like me who is not a coding whiz.
Huh.
But to really compare how it functions, how easy it is to use, I'd have to actually try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing it in action is key. They also talk about features like CRM, email marketing, even reputation management. That's a lot to pack into one platform.
Mm.
So you really need to break down if these are actually robust enough to handle your specific needs for your business.
Right, and that leads us to the features themselves. I mean, they've got this AI virtual assistant that can supposedly secure deals, update your CRM. They even say, like, you could wake up to AI secured deals.
Count me up.
Right, it sounds almost too good to be true. How much control would you actually have over something like that?
That's the big question with any AI tool. The potential is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine while you're working on strategy, your AI assistant is out there qualifying leads, adding them to your CRM. That's a game changer for efficiency. But the level of customization and most importantly, accuracy, that's what's crucial. A poorly trained AI could end up creating more problems than it solves.
For sure. And then there's this claim about not needing any blogging skills because their AI can generate SEO-optimized blog posts. That'd be a dream come true, but I'd have to see the quality of the content before I'd feel comfortable putting my name on it. Would you ever trust AI to write your content?
That's a really interesting area, and AI writing tools, they are evolving so rapidly. I mean, some of them can produce pretty decent factual content, but I see it more as a starting point, something you can then edit, personalize to really make it reflect your brand voice and your expertise. Ultimately, that human touch is still essential, especially for content that needs to connect with your audience on a deeper level.
I totally agree. And speaking of connecting with your audience, what about e-commerce? They say you can build a full online store with their platform, make it sound so effortless. But how does that really stack up against a dedicated platform like Shopify, which is specifically designed for online stores?
That's where your long-term vision really comes into play. For a brand new business or someone just starting out with e-commerce, Automation Partners AI could be a solid option, especially with those cost savings. But if you're planning for rapid growth or you need really advanced features, a platform like Shopify might offer more flexibility and scalability down the line.
Gotcha. So it's about choosing the right tool for the job based on where you are now and where you see your business heading in the future. And they do have those testimonials on their website, with businesses raving about increased efficiency and cost savings. Do you think those paint an accurate picture?
Well, testimonials, they can be helpful, but remember, they're just one perspective. They often highlight the positives, right? It's always a good idea to do your own independent research. Look for those reviews, comparisons, maybe even see if you can connect with other businesses that are using the platform to really get a well-rounded view of their experience.
Really good advice. Now, this Optimist chatbot, that's a big part of their platform. It can handle website chat, social media, even SMS. It's like having a whole army of virtual assistants at your fingertips.
Yeah, AI chatbots, they're definitely gaining traction, and for good reason. They can offer that 24/7 support, answer those FAQs, even pre-qualify leads, which frees up your time for other tasks. But you got to find that sweet spot between automation and that human touch. You don't want your customer interactions to feel cold or impersonal.
Right, so chatbot's great for streamlining things, but you still need that human element to build real, genuine relationships with your customers. This is making me wonder, is it all too good to be true? It sounds amazing, but are there hidden costs or limitations we haven't uncovered yet?
It's great that you're thinking critically. It is possible for one platform to offer this much, especially with all the advancements in AI. But a healthy dose of skepticism never hurts. Digging deeper into those reviews and comparisons, and maybe even trying a trial period, could reveal a lot. And their Black Friday deal includes professional setup, which could be a huge help, but it might also make it harder to switch platforms later if you need to.
Okay, so proceed with caution, but keep an open mind. One last thing I wanted to touch on was their workflow mind map. They're basically positioning Automation Partners AI as the central hub for your entire business. Is that a good thing, or is that something to be concerned about?
That's a really sharp observation. Having a centralized platform can be incredibly efficient. It streamlines workflows, integrates your data, and you've got one single source of truth for all your business information. But then it does raise that question of over-reliance. What if your needs change down the road? Are you then locked into using their tools even if better options pop up?
So it's like a trade-off between convenience and potential cost savings on the one hand versus flexibility and control on the other. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground already, but we're just scratching the surface. There's so much to unpack. Where do we go from here?
That's a great question, and that's actually where we'll pick things up in part two. We're going to really dig into those potential downsides and explore ways to evaluate this offer. So you can determine if Automation Partners AI truly aligns with your specific needs and goals.
Okay, so we explored some of those potential benefits of Automation Partners AI, but now I'm kind of curious about the other side of the coin. Like, what are some potential downsides we need to think about?
Yeah, good point. It's easy to get caught up in all that excitement with a new platform, especially when there's a deal involved. But let's look at some potential drawbacks, and maybe that flexibility issue we touched on earlier is a good place to start.
Yeah, you mentioned relying on a single platform could actually limit flexibility down the line. Can you explain that a bit more? Like, what kind of limitations might someone run into?
Sure. Let's say your business is growing and you realize you need a more specialized tool for something specific, like let's say email marketing.
Okay.
Now, if everything's tightly integrated with automation partners, AI switching to a different email platform could be a huge headache.
Yeah.
You might even lose valuable data or disrupt your whole workflow you've got set up.
So it's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket, which could be risky if that basket, springs a leak.
Exactly. But couldn't you argue that a lot of businesses already rely heavily on platforms like Google or Microsoft for a whole bunch of their tools,
Yeah, that's true.
right? So many businesses do rely on those major platforms. But there is a difference between using a suite of tools from a company like that and building your entire business ecosystem around a single, less established platform.
Okay.
It comes down to your risk tolerance and your long-term vision. Are you comfortable betting on a newer player? Or do you prefer that stability of a company with a proven track record?
That's a great question for any business owner to consider. Another thing I'm thinking about is data security. I mean, that's a top concern for anyone running a business these days. Does Automation Partners AI address that in their materials?
They do mention security measures, but they don't go into a ton of detail. That's something I definitely recommend digging into. When you're centralizing all your data in one place, robust security is absolutely essential. Look for info about their encryption practices, where those servers are located, and if they've had any third-party security audits.
Sounds like security due diligence is a must. What about support? If you hit a snag, who do you turn to for help?
Well, they do highlight that professional setup as part of their Black Friday deal, which suggests they offer some level of ongoing support. But again, the specifics are a little fuzzy. It's worth figuring out more about their support channels. Do they have phone support, email support, live chat? What are their response times like? These are all things to consider when you're relying on this platform to run your whole business.
Yeah, makes sense. As we're talking about this, it seems like there could be two very different types of businesses who might be drawn to this deal.
Oh, I'm curious. Tell me more.
Well, on one hand, you have startups, solopreneurs, people who are just starting out and probably working with limited budgets. For them, having everything in one place at a price they can afford, that's incredibly appealing.
Yeah, I see your point. For that group, Automation Partners AI could be a game changer. It lets them hit the ground running without having to cobble together a bunch of different tools and potentially overspending. That all-in-one approach might be ideal for businesses at that stage.
But then you have established businesses that already have systems in place, maybe even a whole team managing their online presence. For them, moving everything over to a new platform could be more disruptive than it's worth.
Absolutely. For those businesses sticking with their existing tools or maybe strategically integrating Automation Partners AI for specific functions where it makes sense, that might be the better move. It just shows how important it is to really look at your current setup and your long-term goals before making a decision.
Okay, so we've talked about potential downsides like flexibility, security concerns, needing reliable support, and making sure this all-in-one approach fits your business model. But let's not forget about those potential benefits. What are some things that Automation Partners AI seems to be doing well?
One thing that jumps out is their focus on ease of use. They keep saying you don't need to know how to code or design to build websites, funnels, even an online store. That can be a big hurdle for a lot of businesses, and they seem to be addressing that head on.
And they're really leaning into AI in some cool ways. We talked about the virtual assistant AI-powered content, but they're also using it for the chatbot and even for optimizing those sales funnels. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a smart move. AI is becoming more accessible to businesses of all sizes, and they're packaging it in a way that's both user-friendly and potentially really powerful.
And they're not shying away from those comparisons. They're putting themselves out there as a real alternative to the big players like HubSpot and ClickFunnels.
It remains to be seen if they can deliver on all those promises.
Mm.
But their ambition is clear. They want to disrupt the market, offer a more affordable solution.
And we can't forget that Black Friday deal, $250 a month for a platform that claims to do so much that's a tempting offer, even if we're being cautious.
Oh, it definitely is eye-catching. But remember, the price is just one piece of the puzzle.
Mm.
The real value is how well it fits your needs and helps you reach those goals.
So how can someone listening to this make sense of it all and actually decide what are the key questions they should be asking themselves right now?
That's a great question, and that's what we'll cover in the final part of our deep dive. We'll give you a framework to evaluate this offer and help you figure out if Automation Partners AI could be the right fit for you on your business journey.
So we've really explored a lot the potential benefits, the drawbacks of Automation Partners AI. But now for the big question, how do you actually make a decision? It's easy to get overwhelmed with all this information.
Analysis paralysis, it's a real thing.
Huh.
But hey, that's what this deep dive is for, to equip you to make the best choice for your business. So let's break down a framework that can help.
Okay, sounds good. Where do we even start?
I'd say start by taking a step back from all the marketing hype and that tempting Black Friday deal and really zero in on your business needs. What are those biggest pain points you're dealing with right now? And what are your top priorities for growth, let's say, over the next year?
So get really clear on what problems you're trying to solve and the goals you want to achieve.
Exactly. Then take a look at Automation Partners AI's features with those specific needs and goals in mind. Ask yourself, does this feature actually address a pain point I have? Or will this tool help me reach one of my top goals? Don't get sidetracked by fancy features that sound cool, but won't really make a difference for your business.
It's about focusing on what truly matters. And this is where that deeper research comes in, right? Going beyond those testimonials on their website.
Absolutely. Independent reviews, those are so valuable. Comparison websites are super helpful too. You can see how Automation Partners AI stacks up against the competition. And if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, look for case studies from similar businesses that have used the platform. That can give you some real-world insights into how it works and the results they've seen.
Makes sense. And what about a trial period? Would it be possible to try it out before committing?
That's such a good point. I haven't seen anything on their website about a trial, but it's definitely worth reaching out to their sales team and asking. A trial would let you experience the platform firsthand. Get a feel for the interface, see how it integrates with your existing setup.
That would be huge for making a decision. And speaking of integrations, they do offer that professional setup as part of the deal, which could be a big help, especially if you're not a tech person. But could there be a downside to that?
You've hit on something important. On the one hand, professional setup can save you a ton of time and headaches, but it does create a tighter connection to Automation Partners AI right from the start.
Right, because if you later decide it's not the right fit, switching to another platform could get messy and expensive.
Exactly. It's all about those trade-offs. And it leads back to a fundamental question. What role do you want AI to play in your business? Do you see it as the command center running everything?
Or is it more of a specialized tool helping you with specific tasks, working smarter, not harder?
That's the heart of it. Your answer to that question will guide how you evaluate not just Automation Partners AI, but any AI solution out there.
That's a really helpful way to look at it. It's not just about the features, the price, or even the deal. It's about your vision for your business and how AI fits into that. So much great information in this deep dive. Any last words of wisdom for our listeners as they try to decide?
Embrace the power of AI, absolutely. But do it strategically. Approach it with a critical eye, always keeping your unique needs and goals in mind. Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Seek out different opinions. And most importantly, trust your gut. There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to AI. It's about finding what works best for you on your entrepreneurial journey.
I love that. What a great way to wrap things up. We've given you a lot to think about, but remember, knowledge is power. Keep exploring this topic. And if you do give Automation Partners AI a try, let us know what you find.
We'd love to hear about your experience. Until next time, happy exploring.
And keep diving deep